The Bloodline invades NXT, plus some huge title matches have been announced for NXT's CW premiere, and a major AEW title match has been teased for Dynamite Grand Slam. It's all in the Cultaholic wrestling news right now. The Bloodline rocking up on NXT last night, those naughty tribal boys. Honestly, and Jack wagging his finger is going to wag this story in your general direction.
NXT's a sacred place and you can't just do that. This one's a bit of a strange one and we're trying to work out what's gone on, whether it's a work, whether it's a shoot, whether it's a bit of both, what's been going on behind the scenes. Because yes, last night's NXT opened with the tag team title match between Nathan Fraser and Axiom, the reigning champions, and the Street Profits. Now, as you pointed out, this match was originally meant to be Nathan Fraser and Axiom versus the Rascals, Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz.
Yeah, and as we mentioned yesterday, it was pulled for what seemed to be a storyline reason, but it wasn't really. It could have been 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. It could have been some real reasons to prevent the match from happening, but they could have turned it into a storyline.
Yes, it wasn't as if they were found backstage. They've been beaten up. What do we do? It wasn't quite explained fully, which means it could be a bit of real life, or it could just be a bit of storyline stuff that's yet to be.
Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy?
Is this just fantasy? And we could find out maybe in a bit what actually happened. Anyway, the replacements were the Street Profits against Nathan Fraser and Axiom. And just when it looked like the Street Profits were about to win those belts, they were foiled by Tama Tonga, Tangaloa, and Jacob Fatu of the Bloodline, who made their presence felt and laid out both teams. This obviously comes ahead of Solo Sikoa challenging Cody Rhodes for the WWE title in a steel cage match this Friday on SmackDown, the new season premiere.
Later on in the evening, Nathan Fraser putting out a tweet saying Fraxium would like to offer their services to the tribal chief, the original one.
Oh,
slammed.
He wants Roman.
To which Roman's gone, we're sorted, cheers, but thanks anyway.
Now I know that Nathan Fraser and Axiom got laid out as well by the Bloodline members on last night's NXT, but on the other hand, kind of saved them from a potential title loss.
I mean, if anything, they should align with the new Bloodline.
Why are you throwing shade at Solo and the gang?
Don't throw shade at Solo and the gang. Throw ones at Solo and the gang.
Yeah.
And throw them up.
Nathan Fraser and Axiom have genuinely been one of the better, certainly on the main big wrestling promotions and everything. They've been on quite a tear recently in the mainstream wrestling world, and I think I'm quite relieved that they didn't lose those belts because they've deserved more of a reign.
They deserve them.
They do deserve them. They do. Yes.
There was some TNA representation last night on NXT. Earlier in the week, we saw Tony D'Angelo paying off a mystery person to take out Obafemi. We found out that mystery person last night was only flipping TNA's Hammerstone.
Yes.
This big boy.
I think.
Oh, Danny.
I think he fits really well in a who's this mercenary character who's been paid, and then this bloke walks out. You're like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it totally makes sense. And he was lobbing Obafemi around, overhead suplexes, hits him with a choke slam. It was a meaty battle, which is nice to see. But despite the fact that he didn't actually win the title, I thought Hammerstone looked great in there.
Yes, I thought so as well. And again, whenever now somebody pops up from TNA in NXT, you can't help but speculate, like with Joe Hendry, like with someone we're about to talk about as well. Do WWE have eyes for this person once their TNA deal expires? And I wouldn't be surprised if, just from the look of him and the performance here, if Hammerstone is very much on WWE's radar, more than even this one-off appearance would suggest.
Yeah, without a doubt. Jordan Grace, who's been very much in the conversation about possibly heading to WWE when her TNA deal is up. She was there last night. She successfully defended her TNA Knockouts world title in an open challenge answered by Sol Ruka. Afterwards, she was attacked by the new evil combo of NXT's Wendy Chu and TNA's Rosemary.
They've really fallen upwards of Wendy Chu and Rosemary. No shade against them, but Wendy Chu recently lost a women's North American title match to Kalani Jordan and is now, I reckon, the Knockouts title is on a higher level than the Women's North American Championship. It's got more history. I think it's probably got more prestige right now. But Also, it's Victory Road this weekend, TNA's latest monthly special. And Jordan Grace, I don't believe, has an opponent yet. So could end up being Wendy Chu.
Wendy Chu rocking up at Victory Road. Could possibly be the case. But a lot of the conversation on NXT is all about next month and their debut on the CW. They're going to be in Chicago for that bad boy. 2 major title matches have now been set for NXT's debut on the CW next month.
Yes, as a result of defeating Pete Dunne in a last man standing match, Trick Williams will challenge Ethan Page for the NXT Championship. Ethan Page is obviously the man that Trick lost the NXT Championship to without being pinned in that fatal 4-way main event back at Heatwave. Oh, it was a terrible, terrible tragedy. It really was. Because he hit him with a knee and Page fell onto Javon Evans, and that way he won the belt by accident. And that's very much, they're portraying Page as a lucky heel champion who doesn't deserve it.
Also, it was announced last night that Roxanne Perez will defend the NXT Women's title against Julia. This was made official in a meeting between Perez, Julia, and the brilliant general manager of NXT, Ava. Also, big shout, because this segment also features the WWE return of Kaientai member Funaki.
Genuinely delighted to see him.
So, it's what's great is they cut to the shot where Funaki is playing Julia's translator. They cut to the shot and it's Ava, it's Julia, it's Funaki, and there's a big cheer from the crowd. Obviously happy to see Julia, but you can hear voices going, Funaki, it's Funaki, Funaki,
yes.
Funaki. There's a lot of love for Funaki in the room. But Julia and Perez, that is gonna slap, as the kids say.
I really hope
They're
so.
going to have a banger, those are. Julia telling Roxanne Perez, you're afraid. You should be afraid.
Could we see 2 big title changes then? Because I would expect Trick to beat Ethan Page, big season, big debut on this new network and everything. But also Julia coming in with a big head of steam. I can't see her losing. Maybe the match will have a non-finish of sorts.
It's a big chance to start a new era immediately on the CW. We'll also see Zachary Wentz facing Wesley. Sorry, interrupted you.
I was about to do that one.
Oh, apologies.
I was about to say what you said.
did like a Street Fighter. As I took over that one.
That's Mortal Kombat. Sorry, I'm doing the...
Finish him.
Yeah.
Zachary Wentz facing Wesley in a street fight. It was made by Lee, agreed via Twitter by Wentz last night. So I think if the Rascals, I presume that them not appearing on NXT was just a little momentary issue, because obviously Wentz and Wentz and Lee are gonna take center stage.
And also Zachary Wentz has a match at Victory Road as well at the weekend, because he will be defending his newly won X Division title against the previous champion Speedball Mike Bailey.
Oh, so that's this weekend, isn't it?
That's this weekend, so that's before this, yes.
Does Wesley pop up and cost him the title?
I think that would make a lot of sense, because they did just have Zachary Wentz win the belt in the Ultimate X match, so Bailey was never pinned, but it felt very convenient that Zachary Wentz won that belt just before Heatwave and then got to walk out on this NXT PLE with the X Division Championship, despite not really being built up towards that belt in TNA's storylines. So yes.
Intriguing. Also confirmed for the CW premiere, an appearance, of course, by Chicago's own CM Punk.
Yeah!
He's making an announcement next week on NXT.
He'll probably talk a lot and go over his time.
The women's tag champions Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill will be in action as well. Plus, we'll get a special edition of Miz TV.
Oh, fair enough. I don't mind that.
They're just packing it in, aren't they, for that CW Prem?
It could have some sort of, because on the main roster, Miz has lost his confidence recently. We saw him talking to Woods backstage, and Woods is like, "Hey man, you're the Miz. You beat John Cena in WrestleMania 27," and Miz went, "Yeah, but look how far I've fallen since then." So could he be going down to NXT to try and re-find his confidence?
We like fire.
Yes, it's his only desire.
It's his only desire, featuring Lulu. So that's NXT. Meanwhile, AEW Dynamite takes place tonight, but eyes are moving towards Grand Slam in New York. And Arthur Ashe will be the home of another big old Grand Slam for AEW, and potentially a major AEW international title match as well.
That's because Will Ospreay tweeted his excitement about wanting to compete on the show at Grand Slam since seeing Bryan Danielson compete there. This tweet, though, from Ospreay was responded to by Ricochet, who quote retweeted it and said, "See you there, little bro." Whoa.
Ospreay had made his intentions clear when they had a little tete-a-tete with Ricochet backstage at All Out, and he said, "Rack up some wins and then come see me." Ricochet going to have a match against Sami Sammy Guevara tonight on Dynamite.
It feels very much like this match will happen.
Yeah.
Because it's the match we've all been waiting for, I suppose, since Ricochet turned up in that gauntlet match at All In. And despite them having had several matches before they were either in AEW, one of them in WCPW. When the rope broke. I don't think it's a match that anyone would be opposed to seeing them have again, especially because Ospreay especially has changed so much since then. He's a different type of wrestler. He's still got all the flips, but now he's got the muscles as well.
I feel like Ospreay has got the muscles.
Yeah.
Ospreay, I think, has evolved more than Ricochet.
Yes.
I would say. But you know what? We're going to see what happens. We are going to see what happens. From Ospreys to Swans. Are you twitching tonight?
Me and Owen are twitching tonight, twitch.tv/Cultaholic. We're taking charge of the Birmingham City Swans once again. And we were top of the league at the end of last week. Owen came back and we started winning again. So there's no cause and effect there. I'm really good too.
He's just very good at it.
6 p.m. UK time.
Twitch.tv/Cultaholic. On the podcast feed, I had a lovely chat with Shah Samuels yesterday.
East.
The East End Butcher, who is actually a real-life East End Butcher.
Fantastic.
So I like that he's living the gimmick. We talk about his time in NXT UK and some of the conversations he's had with Shawn Michaels. And of course, we talk about World of Sport, which is back this Saturday in Norwich at Epic Studios. We're going to be taping a few episodes of World of Sport, myself and the wonderful SoCal Val on commentary. Come and see us. Charles Samuels will be there. Grado's going to be there. It's an incredible lineup of talent from across the UK.
I was trying to do Grado's entrance thing, but it just looked like I was just sort of dancing a bit. No.
Seen a little bit of that. It's good. I liked it.
It's very exciting indeed.
I like that bit. Bit. Still a couple of tickets left for the matinee and the evening show. I'm on both. Come say hi. World of Sports back this Saturday at Epic Studios, and me and Shah chat all about it on the podcast feed. And for the very latest wrestling news at any time, you can check out cultaholic.com. Stay safe and fly, swans, fly.
Yes.
Hit my hand on the mic's
Oh,
crane.
God.
Crane, that's a bird too.